Yesterday, Donald Trump told what might be the biggest whopper about the virus so far, and he's told many whoppers. During his press conference yesterday and the day before, Donald Trump has again played the role of someone who is pretending to have been on top of the virus since day one, despite the fact that he's ignored it and downplayed it and lied about it since the beginning. Here's what Donald Trump said 2 days ago.
I just say this. We have an invisible enemy. We have a problem that a month ago nobody ever thought about. Nobody I've read about it. I read about many years ago, 1917, 1918. I've seen all of the different problems similar to this that we've had. This is a bad one. This is a very bad one. This is bad in the sense that it's so contagious. It's just so contagious.
And then again yesterday, Donald Trump said, well, I don't number one determine recession, but I just say this. We have an invisible enemy. We have a problem that a month ago, nobody ever thought about. Nobody I've read about it. I've read about many years ago, 1917, 1918. I've seen all of the different problems similar to this that we've had. Now, first of all, Trump himself was briefed about coronavirus 2 months ago. So even people in his administration were thinking about it 2 months ago and brought it to Donald Trump. Then you merely need to look at the list of lies that Donald Trump told about this to understand the sort of weaponized ignorance that we are dealing with here. We're putting a long list on the screen, a few highlights. On February 24, Trump said the situation is under control. On February 26, he said coronavirus is a flu. Also on that same day saying cases in the U.S. are down to close to zero. Obviously couldn't have been more wrong, as we now have almost 10,000 diagnosed and probably 500,000 in total. February 28, Trump suggested an immigration link to the virus. On March 2nd, Trump said a vaccine is coming soon. It's not. On March 4, Trump tried blaming it on Obama, saying Obama impeded testing, and that is not true. And then countless times, Trump and others claiming that there's no test shortage, that we have tests, that anybody can get tested, and on and on and on. You all know it. Consider that 2 months ago, Joe Biden wrote an op-ed criticizing Trump's response to coronavirus. That was 2 months ago. Consider that we at the David Pakman Show weren't particularly early on this, and we covered it only when it reached the U.S. on the broadcast show. We talked about it earlier on the bonus show. That was January 30th. That's almost 2 months ago at this point. So when Trump says nobody knew, nobody heard of, nobody imagined, all he means is he didn't know about, he didn't take it seriously, he didn't care. He said it with Category 5 hurricanes. I don't know if you remember, but at some point in the last year, I think it was, Trump said when we were facing a Category 5 hurricane, who's even heard of a Category 5 hurricane? There had been multiple Category 5 hurricanes under his presidency when he said that. So he had like a minute during which he seemed more sober and serious 3 days ago or 2 days ago during a press conference. He's back to calling it the Chinese virus. He's back to blaming anybody that he can. He's back to bragging and rating his performance as a 10 out of 10. That's what we're dealing with today. We're going to have to solve this despite Trump. But that being said, it's still good that he's saying it's serious, because a lot of these ignorant people, particularly with ignorant red state Republican governors who continue to go to the beach and go to concerts and pretend like everything's fine, they will prevent us from dealing with this as quickly as we can. Make sure you're following The David Pakman Show on Instagram at David Pakman Show. We'll have polls and data and questions about this there. And while you're on Instagram, follow me at david.pakman. Check out the excellent YouTube channel we're partnering up with called Upflip. You can get there at davidpakman.com/upflip. The link is right underneath this video. Make sure you subscribe while you are there. Upflip is a YouTube channel that looks at entrepreneurship in a very interesting way. Their content looks at small businesses, what makes them successful. Each video, you get to meet a new entrepreneur, get a behind-the-scenes look at their daily grind, learn their philosophy, learn their business. As a business owner myself, as someone with an MBA, I love watching the content. There's a ton of really useful insight to come away with from every episode. I love hearing what the entrepreneurs share. You get practical advice. They talk about outside the box strategies. And even if you don't own a small business yourself, I think you'd be fascinated by the content on Upflip. Perfect for people who like shows like Shark Tank and that sort of thing. Get to the Upflip YouTube channel by going to davidpakman.com/upflip. The link is underneath the video. They're friends of the David Pakman Show. Definitely make sure to subscribe to their channel. Click that bell icon on their page so you'll be notified whenever they upload a new video.